chucked at you, Teo, and this frogman or woman or non-binary folk is running like hell as Brim is trying to chase after it with his hammer.
I believe I said that. Okay, I'm not muted. Also, Heather Kitty Cat. Brim caught the pearl and he stopped chasing the creature, but he's still just staring angrily at it.
So you caught the creature?
No, he caught the pearl. He rolled a natural 20 on the dex check to catch the pearl.
Nice.
Yeah, to not catch the pearl whatsoever.
So yeah, Brim's just kind of like. I really want to go kill it. I really, really, really want to go kill it.
No. He didn't hurt you much.
Brim goes, but Teo, it's not the point. Imagine if he had done that to somebody that wasn't us.
Do you think he would have?
He was stopping random people in the middle of the road to ask them a riddle and then spitting fireballs at them.
I mean, it really wasn't that hard of a riddle, you guys.
Okay, let's pose another question. What if it was a child?
I mean, I feel like maybe this guy, this creature, has enough decency and morality to not kill a child over a riddle.
And
also,
the frog is gone.
Also, who would give a child a pearl just like that?
Brim, I think you've scared it sufficiently, and we do have more important things to do.
You just hear as its little flappy little legs run down the road.
Bye.
How far away is it at this point?
Pretty far. And after a little bit, you see it duck into the woods.
Okay. Brim's just kind of like rubbing his face. He's like, okay, we'll leave that one alone. If something like that ever happens again, I'm not asking questions. I'm going to break it.
Fair enough, Brim. Fair enough.
Oh.
Can we get back on the? Can we get back to what we were doing?
Yes.
Shall we travel some more?
Let's do that. At that point, Brim just kind of like looks on his person and he goes, "Oh, Teo?
Jenna? Jenna left.
Well, she's in Roll20.
She might have had an issue with her phone or something.
She's just having a headset
Hello?
issue.
Genevieve.
Hello, I'm here. My app crashed. I'm back.
Okay. Brim turns to Teo and says, "Oh, Teo, I have something for you."
Oh, okay.
Brim hands Teo a shovel.
You don't hand him the fucking pearl that he just won?
No, I already gave that back. Last session, I gave it to Teo.
Okay, well, Teo, you have a pearl worth 100 gold pieces.
Okay.
It's like, Brim's like, I already have one. I don't need another one. By the way, here's a shovel.
Thank you. He takes the shovel.
Says,
what's it for?
Well,
I mean, I know what it's for. I know it's for digging, but like, what are we digging?
One, I understand that you like rocks. This is so you can find more rocks. Also, two, we should always be prepared on the road, and after our little fiasco with the bandits, I have a feeling we'll have to be digging more graves before too long.
Oh. Please. Oh.
Or if he looks at Niall and he goes, if Goose decides to do something dumb, we'll probably be hiding evidence.
Fucking hell.
Well, I must say, Brim, you do like to be prepared.
Brim's like, you have no idea. And he's like, I made a hatchet, I made cooking tools, and I have 2 more shovels.
I could probably use this to hit someone if I really wanted to. So maybe it'll come in handy. Who knows?
Do you want something to hit people with?
Not particularly.
Because Brim's like pulling out a great axe.
Oh no, that's okay. I have these rocks that I can sling at people. It's fine. I'll just throw rocks
Well,
and do magic. I can do that. Oh, and I have a stick. He has a stick on his back. He's like, I have this.
Brim just blinks a
people
few
with this.
times.
This stick is like specifically for hitting people with. I think. I've mostly just been using it as a walking stick, but
Right.
you know.
Good to know. I might have use for that later, while we're adventuring.
Can we get back on the road and have this conversation? There's plenty of
I thought
miles
we
still
were
left to
having
I
go.
this
assumed we were walking back.
conversation while
Oh,
we were
sorry.
Walking back.
we're just standing around.
Yeah, I can assume we're probably already back at the carts, like sitting around talking.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Whip.
Wagons
What
start
was
moving.
that?
That's
What
so
noise is
mean.
that?
Cracking the. I don't know. Niall doesn't know what he's doing.
Brains.
Yeah, there we go.
When we get back to the carts, while we're not looking for anything, I would like to cast Sending over to Urgula.
Oh, okay.
Urgula, it's Brim. How is everything in Tribor? I found your friend's kid. I left him alone, sent him back to Tribor. Send me a letter.
Nope. Eh,
I thought I had
Done.
one more word.
no,
Okay.
not on my count.
Send him a what?
I thought I got letter out.
Oh
Okay, so there's like a pause. And then like a minute or so. And then you get back. Thanks. Good to hear from you. Hope he's all right. I'll expect him here. Be safe. Did you get the sword? And that's it. Yeah. You guys continue on the road. Who's taking point for the road? I actually found a new cuter map. You guys want to move to the cute map?
Sure.
Yeah, I want cute map.
Sure.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
it is cute.
I'd say for the sake of right now, I guess Brim will take point.
Teo would like to investigate the book in the lower right-hand corner.
No. As you
Kitty.
approach it, it disappears. Amazing.
What the fuck?
I can't even see it. My icon covers it.
Teo can take point at some time.
Niall's driving or on one of the cards, so. But
What
he
are-
will. Go ahead.
Wasn't our usual setup was Niall and Teo on one cart, and then Brim and Leo and Goose on the other? Is that right?
Or Leah would walk. Either that, I think, or Leah would
Mm.
walk.
Right.
We can have that set up still. They can just ghost we can just have our ghost party on the other cart.
What would you like whoever's on point to do? I'm assuming that.
Uh,
Sorry, I was just messing with the map. Make perception check.
Niall has done so.
Okay. Oh, there it is. I was scrolled up very slightly. Cool. Yeah, so the day passes without much incident. There's like some other travelers on the road sometimes, just, minding their beeswax. As the day comes to a close, you guys, I'm assuming, go until it's roughly getting to be dark, right?
yes.
It put me on the map. I don't know if it's important.
You do smell something. It smells really good. It's like roasting meat and vegetables, maybe. And as you keep walking down the road, you do see a light of a campfire off into the woods, slightly.
Niall, why are you so tiny?
I don't know.
I mean, I know I'm tall, but I didn't know I was that tall.
I'm trying to. Oh,
So the
God.
fire is up in the
Up
woods.
ahead, but like into the woods a little bit, like just off the path, maybe into like a little trail.
I think the question is, why are you so huge, Teo?
I ate a lot of food for breakfast this morning. I don't know. I don't know how to make me smaller.
I don't know why mine just came in as so small.
I'll edit it in a second.
No, you're fine. There seems to be someone cooking a meal over there. I don't know, but it seems like a nice place to stop if you, want to investigate it, Brim or Teo
Or
yeah,
Goose.
I wouldn't.
or Goose. Sorry, I'm
Or Leo, who is also here.
Brim,
You're just ignoring them.
Okay,
I
so
guess-
Raven to go scout.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Don't, you know.
Oh, you startled me, Goose. I thought you were napping. Sorry.
Do you want it to carry the frog?
Oh. No, it's okay. He can stay with me.
Okay.
I put Barnaby on my shoulder. No, actually, he's sitting in my man's butt.
Brim just thinks for a moment. Well, there's safety in numbers, so it might be wise for us to check it out. Hopefully, nobody hostile.
Okay.
That was my concern.
Goose will send Raven up to go scout. Raven comes back and tilts its head to the side and goes, "Ah!" And Goose says, "Okay, one for yes and two for no. Yep. Ah. Look friendly. Ah. How many people? Oh shit! I didn't tell you numbers. Fuck. Well, let's go see.
Ask Raven. Obvious weapons.
Did they look armed? Raven kind of cocks head, looks at you, Niall, looks back at Goose, and then flies over and lands on one of your instruments, Bard. You Bard. You fucking Bard.
You fucking bard. I guess he's saying they had what looked like instruments. They might be other bards.
Oh. Nice.
I say we go check it out. Just if there's only two of them, or not that many, And they seem
Yeah, I didn't fucking tell him numbers. I haven't done that one yet.
uh
I have, as you may have guessed, I haven't figured out how to get the fucking soundbite thing to work yet. So I don't have Ravenclaws and mimicked effects of Goose's voice yet. Sadly. But we will get there. All right. So, are you going to continue on ahead and go see?
yes. Is
Yes.
what I think what we've decided we're going to do.
I would like
Okay. So,
Tiny Niall will stand behind giant Teo.
all right. So, as you all approach, the cicadas chirping in the trees, and you're just so tired. You're like, you know what? It is time for a rest. This might be a good spot. And you come closer, and you smell this thick, savory scent of cooking meat and vegetables mixed with the smoky smell of campfire smoke. And the faint light flickering from the trees about 50 feet ahead, you're able to find the campsite. And as you approach, you're able to see there's a youthful elven man sitting at the side of a tiny little campfire, roasting a juicy pheasant on a spit and cooking some hearty roots and vegetables on the side of the fire. Beside him sits a beautiful mandolin, and he looks up at you all as you approach and smiles. The light dances on his copper brown skin and sparkles in his hazel eyes. Are you travelers? He asks. He beckons you over and says, Folks call me Zemi. I'm wandering bard looking for new tale to sing. Songs about. Come sit. I'll trade you plenty of food for a few good stories.
What was that?
That was a book dragging across my counter.
Can you put the name Zim is what I got?
Zemi.
Zimmy. Okay. Zimmy. Oh, Zimmy. Zimmy, you say? Mel Wet. My name is
Mel
Not-
Wet?
Mel. Well, Matt. Well. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having some issues tonight. Well met. It's always nice to meet a fellow bard. We've had plenty of stories. Mayhaps we can join and we'll feast and play. And
Wonderful. Come sit. I see you're a player of the fine instruments as well. Perhaps we can have a jam session.
yes, why not?
I used to take music lessons. I'll pull a kalimba out of my backpack.
Oh, wonderful. We can all sit and play and talk and eat. Come sit.
Sounds wonderful.
There we go.
Yes. We just need to get our carts set up. We need to get our horses unhitched for the evening, and then we can do all of that.
Of course. Take your time.
So.
Do you want help? I can come help.
Oh, of course. That would be wonderful.
Awesome. And he comes up and helps you, get your stuff to the side of the road.
So, Zimmy, where are you coming from? As we're, undoing the horses and all this other stuff.
Oh, I've been traveling. I left the nest, a few months ago. I've been trying to make my way as a bard and see what the world has to offer.
Your nest. Oh, yes. I see.
My parents have been, missing me awful bad, but I told them, I gotta leave sometime and go make my way in the world.
Which direction are you coming from?
I'm been traveling for a while.
What sort of news have you heard coming from out there and coming from home? Anything strange or unusual?
Well, I mean, there's been rumors of giants around everywhere, but I've tried to keep just into the town. My parents don't go much of any place. They're just farmers, but
Yes.
they didn't really want me to go out into the world, but It's my destiny. I just want to spread my song, you know?
Of course. Everyone wants to forge their own path. These rumors, is it just strange giant activity, or is anything else going on, or grumblings of infighting or something?
I'll be honest, I don't have much, just people talking about, there's been some towns that have been attacked, stuff like that. I've just really gotten out here myself. I haven't seen much trouble. I've been pretty lucky, but I'd love to hear your tales if you've encountered. Have you seen giants?
Yes, actually,
Oh, yeah.
several times.
Oh, do tell me a story. Tell me a story of the giants.
Yes.
Big.
Just
Yeah,
tell
and I'm
me,
pretty
tell
tall.
me a tale. You're a bard, aren't you? Just tell me something that I can make into a song.
Oh, I mean, well, I can tell you of, do you know of Tribal?
Tribor. Yes,
town.
that's to the south, the southeast, southwest,
Yes.
southwest, isn't it?
Yes, well, in a manner of speaking, you could say that we were the heroes of Tribal.
Excellent. Tell me all about it. The pheasant's
Well,
almost done.
uh, so Niall will sort of start to grandly explain and embellish a little bit. The kind of the battle of Tribor is like, well, we were separated around the town when the giants and the Aurochs beset upon us, and we fought our way to the town center with, and he'll mention like Urgula and the captain and a few other people that helped us, and he'll just kind of recount the whole story, sort of making it sound like we had a bigger hand in driving them off, other than just they found the Vodendad fragment.
You don't mention that part?
I don't mention the Vodendad fragment specifically. Okay. I just make it sound more like they were digging for something in the ground, and unfortunately we drove them off, but not before they grabbed it. I don't say Vodendad fragment specifically.
Wow, wonderful. What an artifact. It must have been huge for them to have to dig it out for so long. I'm amazed that you survived and that the town was all right, really? Are you guys gonna move around and like come sit around the fire and chat with them?
Yes.
Brim walks off into the woods. He's gonna go use his newly made hatchet and kind of gather sticks and wood of varying size.
Okay.
So yes, the town, obviously there was some damage, but they're a hearty folk. They're rebuilding. Unfortunately we couldn't stay and help with the full rebuild. We have other endeavors to see to.
Of course. Wow, what a great story. Roll me a performance with advantage.
I also did not make it in a woodshed for half of the battle.
No, I understand. I'm giving you advantage because you are the kind of guy that likes to tell his tales. Wonderful. Okay. His eyes grow warm and happy, and he pokes some of the vegetables, and he's like, "I think this one's done. Anyone want a potato? Help yourselves, please. The pheasant, I think, needs a few more minutes. Won't you tell us another tale? Any of you have a story, real or not? Anything that's fantastical? I'd love it."
Or, I mean, I could tell a story from my home.
Oh, please. Where are you from, Firbolg, sir?
Oh, well, I'm from a real big forest, and to be honest, I mean, it's to the south of here. I'm not really sure where it is in the world, because I've only just left it for the first time a few weeks ago. But yeah, I grew up in the forest with like a bunch of other furbolgs and way away from a lot of people, so maybe my stories will be brand new to you.
I hope so.
Okay, so this is a story that my mom used to tell me, and okay. Uh, so how did it start? Oh boy. He takes out of his pocket one of the rocks, not his special rock, but just like the one that his sister gave him, and he holds it for a second. He goes, "Okay, once upon a time, long ago, there lived a great warrior, and the people told many stories about this strange and wonderful warrior. And one story was about his power of invisibility, and he could wander among all of the enemies of his clan and hear all of their plans, spy on them. But another story told of his great loneliness, and the only person who could see the invisible warrior was his sister. And as much as he loved his sister, what he really wanted was to find true love. He wanted to find a wife who was gentle, and he vowed he would not marry until he found someone besides his sister who could truly see him. And he decided to use a trick, because he was very smart, to find out who was lying when they said they couldn't see him.
Oh,
He had his sister take as many women as he could find towards him as he headed home, and he had a sled, he had a cart that he and his sister asked every woman if the woman could see the invisible warrior. "Oh, yes," all of them replied. "And what is he pulling?" "His sled," they answered. Everybody knew that. "How is the sled tied?" she would ask. Here the answers varied. One said with strong rope. Another said with strong vines. Another said with strong leather. Since none of these answers were correct, the invisible warrior knew that all of the women had lied. All of these women tried to attempt to marry the famous warrior, but none of them could pass the test. The invisible warrior thought about talking to his chief. The chief had 3 daughters. Perhaps he could marry one of them. But the warrior had heard that the 3 sisters, the daughters of the chief, were very mean. Truthfully, only the 2 oldest sisters were as mean as he had heard. But the youngest was very kind and gentle. And her sisters, who were jealous of her, rubbed her face with coals left over from the fire, making her dirty, and they cut off all of her hair. They made her do all the work, theirs as well as her own. If she refused, they told lies about her to their father and the rest of the clan. The youngest was too afraid and too kind to complain about it. Although the invisible warrior did not wish to marry any of the chief's daughters, they all wanted to marry him. He was a warrior and real cool and magic, and everyone talked about him. They all loved him. The 2 older sisters came to the meeting place, and one said that his sled was tied with a strong braid of hair. The other said it was tied with mighty branches. Since neither answer was correct, the warrior sent both girls back to their father. When her work was done for the day, the youngest sister also came to the meeting place, just as the sun was setting. When asked how his sled was tied, her face lit with pleasure. "With a rainbow," she answered softly. Only the invisible warrior could see what he had used to pull his sled. And to his surprise, the youngest daughter had answered truthfully. It was being pulled by a rainbow. And with joy he knew that at last he had found a woman he could find his true love. The end.
Incredible. I fucking love that story. Where'd you get that from?
I looked up like renditions of Cinderella stories
That's I was gonna say.
online.
It's like that sounded like a
Yeah.
furball version of Cinderella.
Yeah,
I
I
loved
looked
it
up like
so
different
much.
Cinderella stories. This one I think is Native American.
I love it so much. But roll
It's
a
like
performance check with advantage because I loved it.
okay. Performance with advantage. I think my performance is not bad because I do the high. Aww. Well, that's like a
So
5.
like that's the way your mom told it to you.
Yeah.
But I think Teo like forgot some parts or like he did it out of order. He's like, wait, no, that one was Oh, and there were 3
Yeah.
sisters, not 4 sisters. It was the youngest one. Like, yeah.
There
Like,
might have been a dog in the story. I don't know. There were a lot of stories that I heard from my mom about dogs. I
okay,
like dogs.
so the elf man, he had this twinkle in his eye at the beginning of your story, and as you keep telling it, his eyes start to glaze over because you just go on, and at the end, and as you say, and that's the end. He's like, oh well, we can't all be bards, eh? Well, give me something better. Come on. And he looks over at you, Niall. Perhaps one of you. You haven't spoken yet. Brim, have you come back to the group by this time? Over like an hour?
Over like an hour, I'll say Brim's come back and he like looks over everybody. And as the guy tries to summon him to talk and tell stories, Brim's like, I would suggest not asking me much for stories. Mine tend to be depressing.
Well, a sad story can make a sad song.
Brim kind of looks around and he goes,
Come, Brim, you must have a story of one of your subordinates or one of these young lads that you've trained and recruited that went on to Alkalades or did something exceptional.
Or funny.
Brim
Yes.
inhales for a moment. With the Dungeon Master's permission, I would like to ask Niall to roll a diplomacy or persuasion.
That stat does not exist in 5e. Yeah.
I know.
You
Persuasion.
Can persuade. What? I'm gonna set the DC though. I'm gonna set the DC as 13.
Okay.
Okay.
If that seems
You need
fair
to roll
you.
a fucking make me check.
I was gonna say 13 to 15.
Because you're friends. And this is a lighthearted, circle of people that, nobody's gonna judge you here. So yeah. Roll your persuasion.
16.
Oh, yeah.
Brim,
you got it.
Brim sighs and he pulls out a knife and kind of slowly turns one of the sticks into a poker. And then just kind of like pokes the fire for a second and goes, all right.
And by this time, the pheasant has been passed out and you guys can eat and everything.
Thank you.
Nom, nom, nom.
And it is delicious.
All
This
right.
is real nice.
You want a story? I'll give you one. About 30 years ago, I just joined, or rather became, a man of the... I can always forget the name in that order. I had just become a man of the Order of the Gauntlet. Was taking on some of my first trainees. Amongst them were 2 people very special. I could see it in their eyes almost the moment that they came around. One was a tiefling boy, tall, ruddy of complexion, with horns that stretched back past his skull. Thick, curly black hair and fires of the deepest amethyst would gleam and glint at everything. They sucked up knowledge as if he was a vacuum. And with him was a taller girl, a half-elf. She was often dirty, but liked to play in the wilds. Her hair of amber brown flung past her shoulders, her ears sharp, though one with a slight nick on it, chewed from a dog that had gotten a hold of her when she was little. She was covered in scars, but it only accented her wild, unnatural beauty. The way her green eyes would flit about, constantly inquisitive, constantly searching for something new, anything to get her hands on, to explore the wilderness, to find some new animal, to find a bird that would shoot across the sky and catch her imagination. They were both wildly intelligent, but in two opposite ways. Ludwig was a bookworm, the tiefling, and her, dear, sweet Mira. Hers was a mind meant to wander, to flow to the natural things. The two might have seemed to have nothing in common, what with Ludwig being a shy boy, unable to properly express himself, and being a tiefling, always so weary of any transgression anyone would throw upon him. He was a sweet boy, but when you look as the Infernals do, people tend to distrust and dislike. Mira, on the other hand, was the apple of everyone's eye. She was beautiful, wild, free. Everyone looked at her as if she was some sort of mare to be tamed and mounted. Brim starts to laugh a little bit as he gets into the story and relaxes. He doesn't eat, but he just kind of enjoys this retelling. The two of them were, by all accounts, the best soldiers that I could have ever asked for. They came under my service, raw, unpolished, and while it took a great deal of time to get them both to settle down and appropriately incorporate themselves into the unit, Ludwig, came to me. We were both outsiders into Waterdeep. He, being an outsider who, because of his race, didn't understand why he was constantly being put down and bullied. And I was a strange man in a realm that I didn't understand. We took to one another, enjoyed each other's company. Seeing as I had money and more or less a place to stay, I took him in. He became like a son to me. In fact, I did call him son quite often, and was made ready to adopt him into mine. Been on many missions together. Nothing so grand or fortuitous as, say, Tribor, or any adventures such as Kalen Cassius, or anything like that. Small things. I remember his first mission was such a stupid thing. All shy and stuttering and unable to hold himself up properly, while Mira stood past him proud, elegant in every step, confident in what she had to do. The two of them ended up getting stuck in a tree trying to save cats that some noblewoman had lost. I never let them live it down. We fished them out of the tree, managed to get the cats, both of them covered in scratches where the creatures had torn them apart. But it didn't dissuade them, and from that moment, I could see that glimmer of a budding relationship between the two. I talked to Mira about it several times. She always told me that she had her eye on him. Something about the wildness of him, the way he looked, the way he carried himself just drew her in. She wanted to know more about this strange-looking boy with his nose always in the books able to cast magics from his fingers as if it were throwing water around after a bath. I promised never to tell Ludwig about her feelings. She wanted him to confess first, because, well, she could see how much he cared for her. It went on for about 2 years. Eventually, the two got their first real missions where I was not sent to supervise, chaperone. Brim stops and he pokes the stick back into the fire again and holds it. They've been sent to take care of a number of bandits on the road. They were, for all intents and purposes, something that we'd handled before. We were fine sending recruits after bandits. They were never really organized or had much to it. Seems we always underestimated it, or rather from what people had to say, we overestimated our recruits. I waited for 2 days, then 3, then 4 for them to come back. They never did. I was told that Mira, being an excellent scout, was sent ahead, but she begged and pleaded and had Ludwig join her. Apparently the two conversing attracted attention. And they were captured. They never found the bodies.
Are you finished?
Brim finishes. Like, he just gets real quiet at that point.
Okay. So I looked at your sheet and I noticed you do not have a modifier to performance. However, if you would like to use another skill that you're proficient in the description of your story, provided it relates to the story in some way, I will let you make a check with that added to it.
I don't. He's not lying, so it's not deception. I mean, just a flat performance is fine, unless you want me to say he's.
No,
Yeah, I don't
I
think I have a modifier to anything that would.
If there's
work.
nothing you can think of that would particularly go for it, you don't have to. You can just roll that. I was just giving you the option if you thought of one that made sense.
I think the only thing I could think of would be like history, but even then, that's just a 1.
You can do history. That'll give you a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
Roll your sad check.
Roll for depression.
I don't know what skill that is. Well, I guess that's like that goes kind of with insight, I guess, because you're kind of bearing your soul a little bit.
If you want me to roll an insight, I can. That's
You,
much better.
yeah, I'll let you roll an insight because that's a really like in-depth, like personal story that was really.
You're rolling insight into you.
Yeah, you're inciting yourself in those moments.
Oh, God.
Well,
He
Brim just
learns
like kills
nothing.
the mood.
Brim is just like stabbing the fire.
is that a real story
Brim,
that actually happened?
does Zimmy ask that?
Yeah.
Brim just kind of nods.
Fuck. Well, you didn't have to tell us if you didn't want to. Jeez, somebody lighten the mood. Tell something happier. Jeez, get the poor guy's mind off the subject.
Well, Zimmy, do you have any stories or tales? Anything applicable?
Well, I could sing you a song.
Sure. That would be wonderful.
Okay. So he will sing. Pulling it up on the thingy because I have a specific artist that I chose for inspiration for this guy. What he sounds like.
As he starts to tune up, like strum or whatever, I don't know if this is an original song or if there's a way that Niall would possibly be able to roll, like, I guess, like a history check or something to see if he knows the song.
Yeah, you can.
Cool.
Is this Silly Wizard?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna know the song.
Yeah, you know the words to this song, and you can, if you'd like to jam along with him, you can roll with advantage to perform with him.
Okay.
Really sounds like the lead singer from Silly Wizard.
And now there's a beautiful duet between the two of you.
Yeah,
And he
and
smiles.
Niall's
and-
playing the accompaniment on the harp.
Yeah. Beautiful. Nobody's playing that instrument.
I'll
sorry.
just say Brim's like using thaumaturgy to make the sound.
Oh, thanks.
Here.
Yeah. Oh.
Teo tries to plink along on his kalimba, but he doesn't know the song at all.
Yeah, they just
There you
both
go.
play. They both play louder to cover it up.
Teo stops because he knows he's not doing it right.
Brim takes it from Teo, starts playing.
Yeah, you can have it. That's fine. Actually, I should have. There, I didn't roll because I'm proficient with it, so I should have clicked on that. Still
not great compared to these other two.
Uh.
Zemi's playing and singing is beautiful, and Niall, your accompaniment goes with it really well. And you're doing all the harmonies and everything, and it's just gorgeous. And as the song ends, he smiles and looks over at you. Who's to perform for us next, eh? I'll just turn this down, or you guys can too, because I'm just going to let the playlist play, but it's just more of the same guy. Come on, somebody's got to have a story. Tell me a story, won't you please?
Well, I do have one more story, and then I think it's going to be time to start settling down for the evening.
Before Niall
Something-
starts, can I insight this guy?
Yeah. Okay. So what are you trying to determine?
Mostly trying to, like, I get he's a bard and everything, but he feels unnaturally interested in our stories, and it's. Brim's kind of like getting this vibe. It's like, I don't like this.
Okay.
He's sus.
Zemi sus. No.
He's friendly. Too friendly.
So, what you get is that,
You cut out.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was just a Discord hiccup.
Yeah, so during his song, you kind of watched him and listened to him sing the words and like listen to his tone of voice, and you're like, he doesn't seem to truly like understand the words he's singing. It's like he's just picked it up somewhere. Like he doesn't really get the meaning of the song. Like he's not really experienced a love with someone named Marianne. He's not like really a lover boy or anything. Like you're like, what is this guy even being a bard for? Like it's kind of odd. But you don't get any more than that.
So Brim has confirmed this dude's sus.
He's just weird. Like he just doesn't seem like he gets the stories as much as like Niall does or anything.
He's in it for the clout.
He just wanted a way out. Like that's the vibe I was getting. Is like he wanted a way out, so he wanted to become a traveling bard, and then. But he's like he doesn't have a lot of stories. Like he's probably got some innate skill, but he doesn't have like any training or any stories. So he's just trying to like get as much as he can, so he can make his way.
Yeah. So, Niall, you've said we'll tell you one more story, and then it's time for bed. And he said, "Well, I suppose if it's good enough." Go on.
Well, this one will be shorter, and I wanted something a little lighter on the fair side. So, have you heard the story of Hassan the Merchant?
I can't say that I have.
Oh, well, you're in for quite the treat then. So, there once was this merchant named Hassan, and he was quite well. He sold in a little bit of everything. He had a consignment and did very well for himself, and he was a single man, well liked about his town and everything, and everyone was always upon Hassan's case about, when are you going to marry? You need a wife, you need someone to take care of you, you need someone to pass your belongings on to the next generation.
Sure.
And he would always say, far be it from me to take to my chest a sack full of snakes. I am free. Why then must I become a slave?
A slave?
And then he would have a drink. He's saying that a wife is a slave. Please don't interrupt me.
I'm
But
sorry?
as he got older and he became lonely and aged and the voices grew louder, he finally decided that maybe he did want a wife and a family. Maybe he did need someone. And as luck would have it, the governor's daughter caught his eye, and her his. And as it came about, they were to be wed. Jeez, there goes that one. And they prepared a fabulous ceremony, the greatest that the city had seen in many, many years. The tables were laden with chickens, whole goats were roasted, fruit, nuts, pastries, everything that they could ever want was there. Sweets and delicacies were abound. The finest musicians from around
Dungeon
were
Master.
put. Yes.
Yep.
In order to kind of augment Niall's performance, because I'm assuming this guy's like fascinated by this, for the sake of it, can I have Brim like cast thaumaturgy to make the sound of the banquet go on around everybody?
Oh yeah, that'll give him advantage.
So Brim
Cool.
basically just like quietly casts thaumaturgy, like every minute or so, just
To like
to basically
ambiance the
to give
story.
ambiance to the story.
Fantastic. Continue on, please.
So, Hassan and his wife were wed, and they went on to the banquet. And as you said, we've laid it out before them. And Hassan enjoyed himself immensely. He had plenty of wine and plenty of drink, and as was his right. It was his wedding, and why is he not to be happy and merry on his wedding? It's the best day of his life. And then, as the night wore on, they retired to their lavish bedchamber, awaiting each other's company for the first time. And then, however, Hassan had a... Sorry, that music just got really loud for some reason.
Oh,
I can't hear
I
anything.
apologize. I just put him on back again. I didn't mean for him to be loud.
Nope. Nope. Yeah, something along mine.
Just tell him to shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
The
As he
words
got
in the
up-
background were
yeah.
distracting me, so I've changed it.
Yeah. But as he got up to go to his room, all of his guests had not quite fled yet. And as I said, he was laden with food and drink, and as he raised himself up to go be with his wife, he let out a loud and thundering fart that echoed through all the walls and silenced everyone in the room.
There's a
Brim, do you
Pause.
thaumaturgy a fart?
There's a pause, and Brim's like rolls his eyes and does it. Actually, Brim doesn't even do that. Brim just farts.
Oh, that's great.
All of his friends pretended not to notice, but Hassan was quite shamed and embarrassed, and so he actually ran away from everyone and secluded himself. Now, as I said, he was a rich man, and this was no great difficulty for him. He left his new wife and everyone else, and as he came back, but as most men are, they get lonely and tired and yearn for home and the arms of a good woman. And so he disguised himself and returned home. And as he was returning home, he came upon a farmer's wife with a small child. This had been many years after he'd left. And as he disguised himself, though thinking he was safe, the child asked his mother, Mommy, when was I born? And the mother replied, You were born on the night of Hassan's fart, son. And Hassan realized that he had no chance of ever escaping his destiny as Hassan the Farter. That's it.
Roll with advantage. Your performance.
That's like a real fable too.
Mhm.
Mm,
Well, now that's just crass.
Well, yes, but you're not always going to be performing for royalty or nobles. Sometimes the common folk enjoy a crash joke every now and then.
Well, I don't know that I do. Tell me something better.
Oh, well, let us save it for later. It's getting late. We've had a long day. Can't give all the secrets away.
Just tell me one more. Tell me one more.
Want me to
I'll
have
give
a
you this-
go again? And see if I do better than before?
Sure. Try again. Now you've heard some real tales and some singing. Perhaps your spirit is more in tune. And he at you, Niall. Like, in tune. Get it? Like an
Yes, yes. Very good, Sammy. Very good.
Okay.
And it is getting
pull
late
up-
into the night at this point.
I have an idea. Okay. I'll tell, this is another story. I don't remember who told one of the people in my clan who's not part of my family, I think, told a bunch of us when we were younger. And it's about this young girl and her name was Vasilisa. And so there was this merchant. He was fairly well off, and he had a single daughter from his first wife, and her name was Vasilisa the Beautiful. When this little girl was 8 years old, her mother tragically died. On her deathbed, she gave Vasilisa a tiny wooden doll with instructions to give it a little to eat and a little to drink if Vasilisa were ever in need, and that it would help her. As soon as her mother died, Vasilisa gave it a little to drink and a little to eat, and it comforted her. After a bit of time, her father remarried. The new wife was a woman with 2 daughters. Vasilisa's stepmother was very cruel to her. Here, it's just a lot of Cinderella stories, guys. But with the help of the doll, she was able to perform all the tasks imposed on her. When young men came wooing, the stepmother rejected all of them. Not proper for the younger to marry before the older sister, and none of the suitors wanted to marry Vasilisa's stepsisters because they were mean. One day, the merchant had to embark on a journey. His wife sold the house and moved them all to a gloomy hut by the forest. One day, she gave each of the girls a task and put out all the fires except for a single candle. Her older daughter then put out the candle, and they sent Vasilisa to fetch light from Baba Yaga's hut. Baba Yaga is a witch.
I love this. I've heard this
Yeah.
version before.
Yeah, I love it. The doll advised her to go, and so she went. While she was walking, a mysterious man rode by her in the hours before dawn, dressed in white, riding a white horse whose equipment was all white, the saddle, the reins, even the little bells on its harness. Then a similar rider came in red. She came to a house that stood on some chicken legs. I know it sounds kind of funny, but that's the story. And was walled by a fence made of human bones. I mean, Furbolg bones. Pretend I didn't say human. Furbolg bones. People bones. A black
Humanoid.
rider, like the white and red riders, rode past her, and night fell. And then the eye sockets of the skulls in the wall began to glow. Vasilisa was so scared that she couldn't run or even move. And then came Baba Yaga, who found her when she arrived in her mortar. By the way, Baba Yaga is not like a normal witch. She doesn't ride a broom. She rides inside of a giant mortar and pestle. Isn't that fun? Baba Yaga said that Vasilisa must perform tasks to earn the fire or she would die. She was to clean the house and yard, wash Baba Yaga's laundry, and cook her a meal. She also had to separate grains of rotten corn from good corn, and separate poppy seeds from bits of dirt.
Oh my
Baba
god.
Yaga, yeah. Baba Yaga then left, and Vasilisa despaired, because as she worked and worked, she became so exhausted, and all hope of completing the tasks seemed lost. But the doll whispered that she would complete the tasks for Vasilisa, and that the girl should sleep. At dawn, the white rider passed. Around noon, the red, and as the black rider rode past, Baba Yaga returned and would complain of nothing. She made 3 pairs of disembodied hands
Ah,
that seized. I know. This is Russian. And they seized the corn to squeeze the oil from it, and then asked Vasilisa if she had any questions. Vasilisa asked about the riders' identities, and was told that the white one was day, the red one was the sun, and the black one night. But when Vasilisa thought about asking about the disembodied hands, the doll quivered in her pocket. Vasilisa realized that she should not ask, and told Baba Yaga she had no further questions. In return, Baba Yaga inquired as to the cause of Vasilisa's success. On hearing the answer, by my mother's blessing, Baba Yaga, who wanted nobody with any kind of blessing in her presence, threw Vasilisa out of her house and sent her home with a skull lantern full of burning coals to provide light for her stepfamily. Upon her return, Vasilisa found that since sending her out on her task, her stepfamily had been unable to light any candles or fire in their home. Even lamps and candles that might be brought from outside were useless for the purpose, as all were snuffed out the second they were carried over the threshold. The coals brought in the skull lantern burned Vasilisa's stepmother and stepsisters to ash, and Vasilisa buried the skull, as her mother had told her, so no other person could ever be harmed by it. The end.
Okay. Would you like to make any kind of addition to the story or use a different skill rather than persuasion?
Well,
We had some use of thaumaturgy and stuff like that. Is there anything you would like to add to it or use?
how about, because we want this to be the last story of the night, I'm trying to make it maybe try and be a little bit more spooky with it. And I'll start kind of I'll actually do like not Fey presence necessarily, but I'll start kind of my eyes glowing and my hair kind of puffing up a little bit and just kind of exude like a sort of a magic energy, and I'll try and do intimidation
Okay, yeah.
to scare this
Brim's
guy.
like- I was like,
And I'll give you advantage because that is one of my favorite fairy tales in the particular rendition that it's in. Damn you, Jenna. You know me too well.
Haha! A good
Um,
roll.
He smiles and does like a little shiver and goes, "Well, now I'll be looking over my shoulder, that's for sure. Well, I have to applaud you. You are really excellent storytellers. I must say, you are adventurers, aren't you? You have countless tales."
Mine were just fairy tales from growing up. I'm sure you had those too, huh?
Well, yes and no. See, I need these stories. After
That's
all,
so sus.
every dragon needs a horde. And he stands up
Brim's like, fuck!
and he transforms into a bronze dragon.
Brim's like,
Whoa.
oh, okay. Bronze good. Bronze good.
And he says, "You've earned my reward. You may keep the instrument." And he begins to flap his wings and takes off.
Bye, Zabby. Thanks.
And he leaves
Nice
the mandolin is laying there in the clearing with you.
Brim waves and says, nobody touch it.
Niall, as soon as he started transforming, took 2 steps back, and both daggers appeared out of his sleeves. And he's kind of like, he's looking at the instrument, and he looks at Brim, and he starts kind of sliding towards it.
Brim's like, yeah. Let me identify
two
it
daggers.
first.
Both daggers still out.
I turn around quickly and I pull Mr. Rock out of my pocket and just be like, is the loot safe? Is it okay? Is the mandolin safe? It's over there. I don't know.
Let me identify it first. It will go straight
Goose.
to you, Niall.
Goose, what do your eyes see?
Oh, I'm not fucking looking at anything anymore. The fucking thing blinded me last time.
Goose.
I'm blind.
Not present from a dragon? You fucking figure it out.
I'm
Brim's
asking
like,
my
Brim casts Detect Magic.
Okay. It appears to be enchanted.
Okay, Niall, it's enchanted. Let me.
Yes, I figured it would be.
Let me identify it, and I will give it to you. You're the only person who knows how to use it. I promise. I just want to make sure it's not cursed.
Well,
I'll
you just
just
said
wait.
it was
Now-
enchanted, not cursed.
Brim walks
How's-
over, pulls
I
up
was
the
just
pearl,
waiting.
and puts his hand very, like, gingerly on it, and spends 10 minutes to ritual cast Identify.
Okay.
And during this time, he's just got the pearl. He's holding it up, and every now and then, like, he moves his hand like he's making a hammering motion.
Okay. Anything anyone else wants to do while you're doing that?
I'll put away my rock. It's fine.
Niall would like to, with Goose's help, or have Goose check our perimeter, because the dragon has us shooketh.
Yeah.
Brim does call out. He goes, "It was bronze. It's metallic. They usually don't mean any harm, but safe than sorry."
We just read a note about a transforming dragon killing a monastery that you translated.
Did we even like covered that yet?
Nobody's fucking talked about it, and Josh
I-
isn't here.
I kept trying to talk to Josh about it. I wanted to tell Josh before I told anybody else about it.
Oh, I thought
Wait,
we did that on the road.
I thought you guys all did that like together, but if you want to say that you didn't mention it,
Well, that
Niall-
was the thing. I was trying to mention it to him first because it's his news, and if he wants to tell people about it, that's his business.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you will have told Leo.
Okay, I can say I have told Leo at this point, but he would
We
be
can-
the only person
We
I
can
told.
when Josh gets here, we can retcon whether or not he's shared it with everyone else.
Because I kept getting
Cool.
interrupted on the road because I was trying to pull Leo aside so I could tell him the news.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you guys hadn't just shared that with everybody. So I will, when he gets
We'll
here,
pretend
we will
that did.
go over that.
I mean, but still,
Which-
you're shook. It's a fucking dragon.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we tell how like big or old that dragon was?
Make an Arcana or a Nature check.
Those are about the same for me. So, Arcana, 13.
No, you're not really sure. It was fucking big, but you know, dragons are big. You're not really sure. He did say I left the nest recently, which you're now realizing looking back on it may have been quite literal. So you're thinking maybe on the younger side based on that, but you're not sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so you have cast Identify,
Yep.
and this is the item I'm showing to you now. I'll move it up to the folder we want to have here. So your handouts.
You said it's a mandolin.
It is a mandolin.
What would that? Oh, the Kenneth mandolin.
Yes.
Brim kind of looks it over. Goes, oh, thank gods. Looks to Niall and walks over and holds it out and hands it to him. Says, Niall, this is what is known as an instrument of the bards. There are 7 types of these in existence. This one, in particular, is, well, obviously, as you can see, it's a mandolin. When you play it, you can use it to cast one of 3 spells: Cure Wounds, Dispel Magic, or Protection from Lightning. Once it has been cast in that way, you can't cast the spell again until the next day. And then he kind of thinks for a moment and goes, "Don't try to play this unless you attune to it."
Fly, invisibility, levitate, protection from evil and good.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
I-
Plus those.
yes.
Yeah.
Niall will take it. And
So you can add those to your spell list, but mark them as once per day, which you can do on the spell itself, editing it.
right, yeah. Cool. Awesome. So,
You've
Hmm.
solved my puzzle! You got 3 successes before you got 3 failures. Good job.
If we got 3 failures before 3 successes, would he have eaten us?
Not necessarily.
I'm gonna
He
say
would've been
no.
less-
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's a bronze dragon. He probably would have left us with nothing.
He would have been less pleased with you, let's say that. And if you had refused him stories, which you almost did, he would have transformed earlier and like cast like hold person on you and shit. So made you stay and do shit. But he didn't, because you were nice and friendly and you pleased him with your honeyed words.
Zemi is a real interesting name for a dragon.
You hear like on the wind somewhere, it's Zemidriath.
Whoa. Did anyone else hear that, or am I just
Yeah.
hearing things again?
No, you all hear it as it swoops over, like as it's leaving, because like in like just I feel like that's a comment that you made pretty soon after.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have met Zemidriath.
Yeah, Niall's kind of like a little shell shocked because he would probably be aware of kind of what these are. He's going to go put it in his pack. Yeah.
It's a really
Are-
fucking good item that I have given you.
Yes. I will be adding stuff to my list.
As Dumbledore says, use it well. It is made of wood. Don't smash it over the bar, please.
Oops, dropped it.
Don't. Just keep it in a humidified room, please.
We'll get a
Clean
nice
it
case for it.
regularly.
We'll shine it up. We'll get some. So that's the mandolin. So
Yeah. You got the Caniath mandolin. Cure wounds at 3rd level, by the way.
I guess.
it is.
I
Your
guess
runes
for
at
the
3rd level.
I guess for the sake of it, because Niall just got that, Brim will take the time through the night, gather up some of his metal, some of the wood, and some other shit, and Artisan's Blessing a case for the mandolin.
Okay, so you're a smith. You're not a carpenter.
Right.
So
Just
you're
like
using wood.
just a metal box with like a wood frame.
Okay, so
How heavy is this gonna be?
that's kind of a stretch for what you're able to do, I
Mhm.
feel like, because it's not like normally something you would make at a forge. It's more something like more like workshop-y, like kind of
Yeah.
artificer type of deal. I'll have you make a dexterity check, but
If we're gonna
don't add your proficiency.
not with Smith tools.
Is
No.
No.
That's a
Hang on.
save, not a check, but with a 2
it's the
plus-
same thing.
Yeah.
I don't have Dex
Um,
proficiency either.
So you make a box, but you go to try and put the instrument in it, and it's not the correct shape. The
Okay.
curves are not delicate enough. You just didn't nail it this time. A little more
Um,
delicate than your forging allows.
Thank you, Brim. I think I'll try this though, and Niall will actually pull out. He has a loot, which would have a case, and he's going to take his regular loot out and see if the mandolin will fit in the loot case because they appear to be similarly sized objects from the quick research.
Did you really just do quick research? Please link me. Because I was going to go do research, and I don't want to do it if you've already done it.
I mean, that's up to you whether or not you want it to fit or not. It's just they're both small stringed instruments.
Yeah.
They're both like similar shapes. I mean, it's just like Niall's like, I want to protect this and see if I can like put this in here if this kind of works because they're similar.
Honestly, a mandolin would definitely fit into a loot case if it's like a standard size mandolin, because mandolins don't have that bowl shape in the back and lutes do. So the depth would be fine, and it's like the same length.
I'm leaving it up to the DM whether or not it fits or not.
Yes, but it's not the most protective case you could get for it.
Niall's gonna put some extra, like, he's got his like little spare set of clothes. He's gonna kind of pat around it because he's just gonna see that it just seems loose. So he's just like patting it.
Right. It kind of, because the loot had like a rounded back and the mandolin is flat. There's a lot of like room for it to kind of knock around a little. So you're worried it might get dented over time. You could stuff some cloth in the back if you wanted.
That's what I was saying.
Time to go hunt some sheep.
I was just taking like some of my my spare clothes and just kind of like padding it that way.
You're able to feel pretty like it's pretty secure when you put like some of your clothes in the back to pad it so that it fits better. But it's not a perfect fit. It's kind of, like when you take it out, you've got this pile of cloth under it, which isn't super professional for performing or anything. There you go. You have a beautiful new mandolin. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I hope you're excited about it.
Where did you, was that in the...
It should be in player handouts with all the other magic items.
Oh, there it is. Nope. Run. Not that one. What's going on? Handouts? Magic item? Oh, that one? Ah, there it is. The other player handouts. I have 2 player handouts. Perfect.
You have 2 sections that say player handouts?
Yeah, I have one that's directly under where it says PCs, and it says player handouts. And then I have chapter 1, magic items, and it says player handouts again. And
That can't be right.
Yeah, I have 2 player handouts as well. One's creatures and monsters, the other one is actual player handouts.
Oh, you guys can see all my fucking folders? Can you see all the chapter names?
No.
All I can see is chapter 1.
Which, the only thing we have in there is like Great Upheaval. And then the Zephyros' Whistle and Towers.
Okay.
And then the other one is just it's all monsters we've already encountered.
Okay, well that's fucking sus, but that's okay.
You should be able to set who can look at those and who can't just by putting it. This is in whose journal?
Yeah, but the folders I can't. Just the.
No, you can do it with folders.
I right click on it. It says add subfolder, add character, add handout, sort, rename, delete, or delete and contents. I don't have the whole other part of it. Like with a other thing I can do show to players for like a handout.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, so you guys are free to go to bed. It's definitely past midnight at this point.
Yeah, I'm sleepy.
The dragon has left you to pass the fuck out.
Niall will sort of take first watch, and I would assume that he would do it long enough for Leo to get his meditation, and then Leo would like come in and probably do like the next one. I think that's what we've been doing a lot lately.
So Leo's meditation is 4 hours, and if it's midnight, you are gonna have to wait until 4 a.m. to go to bed, which means you have to get like 8 hours of, at least 6 hours of sleep, I would say. So
Yes.
if you guys are gonna wait until 10 a.m. to get on the road, sure.
I just
Or you could wake someone and then wake. They have them
Two.
wake Leo.
okay. We can do that. Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Cool.
So give me perception for your watch. You have advantage because Goose has just set Raven up as secondary watchman.
I will take it. Perception. Ooh. Yahtzee.
You don't notice anything come bother you in your little inlet camp there.
I will tell Barnaby to take watch at the same time as Raven.
Are you gonna have them do the second watch?
Yeah.
Okay, roll perception for your frog with advantage.
Gotta open my frog's sheet. Perception is wisdom.
And I'm assuming you tell the frog that it needs to wake, or I suppose you'll just wake up naturally, Leo. Okay.
I rolled twice, so it would have advantage. Oh, it does that already. Good. Well, it's definitely 11.
Yeah, definitely 11.
Like,
Jesus.
It's for
Someone
sure
make a
11.
wish.
That's
yeah.
just passive also.
Cool. Doesn't seem to see anything. Catches some flies.
Good.
Leo, you wake up, seeing the crow and the raven and the frog just kind of vibing out on that log right there. He's not here. Fuck. And he does his watch. Had to go all the way into his character sheet to get that. Sorry. And he doesn't see anything. And you guys get up in the morning, and you can pack up. There's a little bit of leftovers of the vegetables and stuff if you wanted to take it with you.
Brim will munch on a potato if there is one.
Yeah.
That'll be breakfast.
Breakfast potatoes, you can certainly have. Breakfast roast carrots.
Brim is actually Yiddish. He smashes it up and makes a latke.
Ooh. Latkes for breakfast, guys. Delicious.
Whoa. I don't want latkes.
And you've got a saucepan now or whatever.
I've got an entire set of chef's utensils.
You don't have a bag
Ugh.
of holding, so like where are you keeping that?
Probably just in my backpack.
Cool.
It's just clanking around on the outside like
Clink,
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 clink.
Pretty much either that, or I just have like a little section in the back of one of the carts, so I'm just like, set this down here.
Oh yeah, you guys
Teo
have
has-
carts. That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot you
Theo
guys
has
have carts.
14 uses of matcha. If anyone else would like some matcha tea,
Oh,
Theo
I
can
would-
make some.
I would love a cup of tea if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay, what about you, Niall?
Oh god, I just realized their carts probably look super sus with 3 shovels in the back of them and all these tools.
Nah, you're traveling.
And some-
you're,
and some-
You're,
Crossbows of silence.
you're traveling ditch diggers. That's normal.
We're undertakers.
It's for our latrine pits.
I like rock.
Oh my god, yours
That's
is
not
the
a lie.
most believable explanation.
That's why I like rocks. And it like shows the
Uh,
rock collection.
Oh,
Guys, I'm gonna mute myself for a second, but I'll still be listening.
You guys are great.
while they're brewing tea and kind of doing the morning stuff, Niall wants to walk around the campsite and inspect it in the daylight, like if there's anything else around the fire or anything else around the log and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you like to make a are you what are you
investigation.
looking for in particular? Are you looking for like tracks, footprints, or are you looking for like signs of stuff left behind?
Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's like, I know he left the mandolin. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that might be useful information, or if like, God forbid, there was a dragon scale left behind or something. I don't know,
Make
but I'm
an
just
investigation check.
anything that might be useful to us in some form or manner.
You notice that the fire is still burning in the morning.
The same size.
It's like a little smaller, but like normally by morning the fire would be you
Right.
know, hot coals. It's still like it's still very hot.
How does does it look like there's, I mean, does it look like there's fuel in it? Like, does the wood or whatever would normally be in there, like, is there any of that in there, or does it look like it's actually burning down? If it is in there?
Looks like it's very slowly burning down. And you think back to last night and you realize that you guys did, like, he and the rest of you with what Brim brought back from wood from the forest, you guys had to feed this fire quite a bit. You get the sense maybe
Yes.
it was dragon fire.
Yes. I don't know much about dragons and their breaths. But is this going to be dangerous if we leave it? Like, can we extinguish this with water or something, or will it just burn itself out? Because this is still about the same size, unless somebody's been feeding it wood that we don't know about.
Brim looks around it and goes. Brim looks around. Is it like an actual fire pit?
It looks like he hastily kind of put some rocks around and like cleared the ground out. Yeah, like a very, the kind you guys would make when you camp.
Brim walks back to the cart, picks up both of the shovels and hands one to Niall, and just scoops some dirt and throws it in the fire.
Yeah, and you guys scoop dirt over it, and you're able to smother it.
It would have been dangerous if we left it alone, but it's out now. If that failed, I would have cast Create Water over it.
Yes, well, that, only you can prevent forest fires.
I would like just the group in general to take inspiration point, because as your local Smokey the Bear, I'm very proud of you. Safety first.
Okay. I have inspiration.
That's just close to my heart that you guys are doing your camping etiquette. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry. I'm a nerd. I like trees. Yeah.
Brim thinks for a moment. How far away are we from the next town?
I think Nonar's Hold would be the next place we stop.
Yeah.
I think it's how we had it.
Actually,
how we had it set up when we started traveling.
So there is a really small village in between that you can stop if you need supplies. And then there's Nonar's Hold. Yeah. But let me see. You traveled for 3-ish days, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been 1, 2, 3. You guys are just I would say probably you guys stopped maybe 6 miles out of Calling Horns, which is the little small area where you could refurbish supplies, and then you could get to the crossing by nightfall and then turn, or you could stay in Calling Horns for a night and then book it all day and get to Nonar's Hold by that next dusk, so you wouldn't have to have another night on the road. That's up to you.
Brim kind of nods a little bit. Says, no.
Yes.
I have an idea for the next town that we get out if you're willing to go along with it.
I'm all ears.
You know how you usually perform and make some gold and get us a free night at the inn?
Yes, I try to do what I can.
How would you like to do that but better?
I'm listening.
Brim reaches over and cusses Niall's shoulder and casts Enhance Ability, Eagle Splendor on him.
What does that do?
Anytime he makes a charisma check, it is automatically advantage.
Damn.
For the next hour, provided I keep concentration up.
Okay, well, do you do this as you enter town, or
He's
you
doing
just
it.
do this
He's
for
doing
funsies?
it. He's doing it right now to demonstrate.
Okay, Niall, you feel smart. No, you feel charisma-y.
I feel smooth.
You feel like a
feel
smooth
very-
criminal.
Feel very smooth.
And if you sing in the next hour, you gonna sing real good.
Brim goes, I can do something like this for each of our basic attributes. If I want to make somebody hardier, I can make them stronger, more able to handle their drinks. If I want to make someone stronger, I can basically double their capacity for feats of strength.
Well, not their natural capacity, just their.
It doubles their
luck.
carrying capacity.
What?
Yeah. For the
That's
hour.
For an hour. For an
an
hour.
That is a fucking spell, isn't it?
Um,
What level is that?
It's actually a second level spell.
Damn.
I
But it
can,
is
if,
concentration, though.
yes, if I want to make someone light on their feet, I can get them to do that, and then they won't. If they fall from a high place, they won't take damage. Up to about 20 feet. I can do that, or their intelligence or wisdom.
Oh, look at this. I really like that. That's neat.
I am
fun
support.
stuff. I love support spells. Now I'm wondering if I want that for my new druid. Because that's a druid spell too. Anyway, sorry, got distracted.
Yes.
Really cool spell.
Thank you, Brim. I think this would be quite handy.
We just need to make sure that I put it on you before we get into town, or before a performance, or something like that.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Brim.
Likewise, if you want help with any of your tales or things like that, I can hide behind a curtain and do what I did while we were at the campfire.
Thank you.
You guys are traveling circus performers now.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, yeah, Niall's thinking, and he's got kind of he's got the mandolin on his mind, so he wants to get on the road and then get on the cart so he can essentially attune while they're riding, because that would be like his short rest. He would just take the time.
I have one last question for you, Dungeon Master. I know this is a stretch upon stretches, but for the sake of it, if Niall is telling a story and Brim gets enough of an idea off of it, could he cast Spirit Gardens, designate nothing as hostile, and have them kind of like act out the play?
Let me read this. So, I kind of see Spirit Guardians as your almost kind of like, I hate this term, but like a spirit animal, but it's
Yeah.
not a spirit animal because it could be like anything. So if you go through a big life change, your Spirit Guardians could change forms, but other than that, I feel like they're set to what they are.
Okay, so they would be basically what I already said they are.
Right. With their weapons, and they would come in and they'd be like ready to go do battle. And you'd be like, wait, that's not what you're here for. So that's not really what that spell is for. You could use thaumaturgy. Spells you could use to help a performance I would say are thaumaturgy, minor illusion, major image,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Prestidigitation could work. I mean, you can make some
Druid
sounds with that.
craft, yeah, stuff like that. Meld earth, even if you wanted,
Brim's
but you don't have
just
that.
Brim's just spitballing ideas.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I love creativity, and I loved what you did with the thaumaturgy. I thought that was a brilliant use of it.
Mhm.
And it did get you your advantage. Yeah, ominous whispers. I would say you could do whispers of a banquet. Absolutely, you know.
I just was doing the create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range.
Yeah, so it's like examples are Rumble of Thunder, Cry of a Raven, or Ominous Whispers. So like I was saying, if it's ominous, you could do a different mood. Banquet Whispers.
You're my laugh track now.
You could absolutely use thaumaturgy as a laugh track.
Which is funny because I just took thaumaturgy when we leveled up. I did not have it until this session.
I'm loving what you're doing with the place. Guys, that's all I had prepared for tonight. Because the rest of it's just your journey. I just had one kind of fun little mini adventure for you. Because I didn't think we were going to have Jenna, so I thought it was just going to be 3 boys. But we got two boys. 2 boys and a
It
Jenna.
is 3 boys.
It
I'm
is
a
3
boy.
Well, Jenna, though. I was talking
Oh,
about
Jenna's
got-
a girl.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Theo's a boy.
He's a himbo.
I was like, if we only have 3 out of the 5, I want to do something that's not particularly plot driven, but is still a fun like adventure for some of you. So that's what I
Well,
have for tonight.
At least
I almost pooped my pants.
at least now Niall has like an idea of Brim's tragic backstory.
You guys really got to know each other a little. What you guys think are good stories, and what you react to when you meet a weird guy in the woods and then he turns into a dragon.
Yeah, I said now about pooped his pants.
See, I'm not gonna lie. My first thought was not that this was a dragon, but this was a fae who was getting stories about us so he could fuck us over later.
Oh my god, that would have been great. No,
I
it's a
just
dragon.
thought it was just gonna be like some weird elf guy who wants to be a bard but doesn't have any of his own stories, so he's a story stealer.
So, who
we-
was surprised when he transformed?
I was like, oh god.
I was
I was not
surprised.
expecting a dragon.
I wasn't
I
expecting
was
a
not.
dragon, but I was not surprised that he transformed.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that he was sus as fuck.
Yeah.
But, yeah, bronze sus AF.